Hey, I'm Jed Toffer with White House Custom Color, filling in today for Matt Hodgman. I'm here with Jess Curren, and we're going to be talking about success through service, but I wanted to remind you right away to make sure that you follow us on Instagram at WHCC Pro, as well as subscribing to this channel and liking this video, of course. We're going to dive right into talking to Jess a little bit and get to know Jess a little bit. I'm getting to know Jess right now myself. So tell me a little bit about who you are. Give me a little bit of a backstory.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been a photographer for 20 years. I was one of those that picked up a camera when I had a baby. I was suddenly a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
And, I wanted to take pictures of my kids anyway, so I learned how to use a camera and then just kind of ran with it after that. So I had a business in Utah where we were going to school for 5 or 6 years, and then we actually sold everything in our house and we're on the road for 5 years in an Airstream travel trailer. So I had a big wedding business, I had a studio share, I was doing really great, and we decided, nope, this isn't what we want to do. So we raised our 3 kids on the road for 5 years. And then, I know, right?
I did not know that.
You're a little crazy.
I have so many questions, but I'm going to table them for now and stay focused.
So we did that for 5 years, and in the meantime, most of my photography was travel related. So I was a blogger. I was an influencer before that was really even a word. I was like, what is this influencer word? That's weird. So a lot of brand deals, and that's how I just really focused my photography during that period of our life. And during our travels, we found this really cute town in Idaho called Driggs. And I was a recreation management major back in the day, so we kind of started teaching our kids how to mountain bike, hike. We loved the outdoors. The Teton Valley is a beautiful place for all of that. And we were like, hey, so I think we could, when the kids are ready, I think we would want to settle down here.
Yeah.
So we kind of still homeschooled for a little while. And then we decided to own or build our own house during the pandemic, which was a completely separate story. But as the kids got older, I was like, it's time to get back into photography. So I started building my business in Teton Valley in Driggs, and kind of just took off from there.
It sounds like you kind of make the most of whatever situation you're in.
Yeah,
regardless.
You just gotta adapt and make it work. So. It's been a really fun journey. I'm really happy to be back working with clients and making beautiful artwork, and it's very fulfilling.
But I also thought I heard you say at some point that you had not sponsors. How did you refer to them? Like partners,
brand deals, sponsors, things like that.
So you also bring people in.
Yeah.
Right, to what you're doing, and I've heard it called relationship marketing to some degree,
absolutely.
Right? Where you have these relationships, and you're both kind of capitalizing on each other and creating this win-win scenario. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the theme here is success through service, and that kind of ties right into what we were just talking about. But also, I was interested in, and this isn't in the notes, but I wanted to ask you this. Okay. I want to know how you define success.
Okay.
That's a curveball. I know it's a curveball.
Okay, no,
but
I love
really
it.
want to know what is that for you? Because it's different for everybody.
Oh,
right?
It absolutely is. I think there's a mix for me. Success, obviously, in my business is running my numbers, making my financial goals, like helping to provide for my family. There's that piece of it. But I think more than that, what I really love about what I do is getting excited over either the session that I'm photographing. Like, my seniors probably think I'm crazy because I get like all excited and animated. I'm like, oh, you guys, we get to create something really cool today. Like, this is gonna be amazing, right? And they probably look at me like I'm nuts. But at this point, they know me well enough that they're like, okay, we know who we hired, we got this.
Right.
But then really also that like final artwork, that when I go, my husband is amazing. He is so much more meticulous than me. So if we have something we need to go install at a client's house, I'm like, come with me, help me with the ruler. I bought him a really nice laser level so he could come do that. But just that, like, my clients seeing their artwork for the first time, realizing how beautiful it is, and then having it in their homes every day. I feel like that's success.
That feeling of there's fulfillment there, right? Like an accomplishment too. I like that. And now I'm going to ask another question because you brought this up.
Okay.
And I some of what you're saying and who you are resonates with me a little bit because you work with your husband in some capacity or he helps out. Is that correct?
Yep.
Real quick, because I think there's a lot of people that are in this situation. I'm kind of coming from the husband side of it, obviously.
Okay.
because my wife sort of drugged me into this at one point too. How does that work with you dynamically within your relationship, the fact that he's helping you with these things? Is that smooth, or is that a rough ride sometimes?
It's pretty smooth, actually. I try and keep it to a minimum because
that's what I was wanting to get at. Yeah.
I know he is also self-employed. He's a tech consultant. He's in the internet identity programming system space. And so I know that he has a lot going on that he loves doing.
Yeah.
And I know that he loves doing his thing and I love doing my thing, but we do try to support each other.
It's pretty great.
Plus I get to buy him tools when he comes to help me.
Well, you said you bought him a laser.
Yeah,
well,
it's like this beautiful laser. And I was like, well, it's now a business expense. So
yeah, we're going to write off a drill today.
Yeah. Oh,
I like it. I'm all about it.
But he's really supportive about it. Like he's got his own LLC. I have my own LLC. I was like, I could technically pay you, but the accountant is like, maybe not.
No, right.
Right. So.
But these are the things that a lot of people, like especially that go into this with relationships, regardless of what the relationship is, there's another person that is helping in some capacity.
Right.
And when it's your spouse or your partner, there's a dynamic there.
Yeah.
And I like how you say that you try to stay. There's a distinction still, right, between the two, but then you both can come together and support each other. I like it. And tools works, man. I mean,
yeah, right.
Tools and food for me, that's all I need, and I'm in.
I love that.
So one of the first things that we're going to talk about, or the first thing that I'd like to talk about is seniors. Okay. And establishing a senior market in a rural area, because describe where you're at a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have the Teton Valley. So it's basically 3 different cities. On the Idaho side of the Teton Mountains.
Right.
So just across the pass from us is Jackson Hole,
right,
which a lot of people are familiar with, Jackson Hole, Wyoming. But on our side, I want to say there's roughly 10,000 people. We have 2 stoplights in the whole valley. 1 high school, 1 middle school, 3 elementary schools. So it's pretty small.
Well, and it's not 10,000 people tightly compacted.
No, that's over the whole valley.
10,000 people in the valley.
Yeah.
Right?
I want to say the city of Driggs is maybe like 2,000 people tops, right? So there's a lot of county, there's a lot of, dispersed people like their space.
Right, so it's not like you have just people all over the place that you can draw from in your market. Now, I think there's a lot of people in this situation too that could be watching this that are like, oh yeah, I saw this marketing plan from so-and-so, or I saw this idea from so-and-so, and they're in Southern California, surrounded by 80 million people that can, even if they get a fraction of a fraction of a fraction, they're going to be in great shape.
Right.
So in your situation, here you are in this rural community where people are spread out, and there's not a ton of them to begin with.
Right.
What do you do?
So that's been really a fun exploratory experience, right? Because what do you do? It helped for me that my kids are that age. So I have a 2024 and a 2025 senior.
Yep.
But I often also found that their friends were definitely not my ideal clients.
Why is that?
They just were not. Our high school has issues. I love those so much, but I think one of the reasons I really wanted to get into seniors, especially as my kids were that age, is I looked through our yearbook one year and I was like, what are these?
Right.
Like, how are these senior portraits?
Yep.
Like, how does this really encapsulate like everything you've accomplished to this point as a senior? And I'm like, there's definitely
we can do better
here. We could do better. We could do better. I want better for my kids. And I was like, I can't be the only one that wants something more for their kids.
Sure. Well, and you were in a position too to know that it could be done better. And I think a lot of times we make these assumptions, well, that everybody like has this realization that it can be so much better. Well, a lot of times they don't know what they don't know, right? So you're in a position to actually teach people or show people what it is that can be done, right? And then when they see that, that can spread like wildfire regardless of how big the area or the community is, right?
I mean, teenagers talk.
Of course they do.
Right? They get excited over each other's portraits.
Right.
I am more on the expensive side, and I provide social media, digital files, and artwork. And so there is a lot of education about that, about the power of artwork, how that can help a senior with confidence throughout their whole senior year if they have this beautiful hero image on their wall that they can look up and see every day, and they're like, okay, crap, I have a calculus test today, but dang, I look amazing, right? I look good. And just, senior year is tough. They've got a lot going on. They've got a lot of decisions to make, and so I think that's what I love about seniors, is helping them create that confidence and just see themselves as everybody else sees them. They deal with so much.
Well, that can pay dividends for years or even decades down the road. Right? Those little pieces.
Yep,
I like
love that.
So, what sort of campaigns have you created or initiated with your seniors, considering all the circumstances that you're in with a smaller market? What's worked?
Yeah, so last spring, I did a 2026 senior launch party where I actually got these really cute boxes. I got tiaras for the girls, really fun sunglasses for the guys, threw in some candy. I was like, hey, you ready for your senior year? Come to my launch party. We'll talk about senior portraits. We took some fun photo backdrop style with fun props. Yeah, you're a senior now. So we did that with, I probably had 14 or 15 kids come and, talked about senior portraits, got them all hyped up. And then, from that, I think I booked one senior. But 1 out of 14 is actually pretty decent marketing.
Yeah.
And that senior has been fantastic. She's some of my favorite images we've ever done.
But you're also creating buzz.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
It's all part of the marketing experience, and you're putting yourself out there more, and people are becoming more and more familiar with who you are and what you do. And the fact that you're priced higher, there's that perceived value to who you are and what you offer as well. Is that am I getting that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the reason I say that is to not discourage, is for people that feel discouraged, regardless of what those numbers are coming in. There are benefits to being proactive in that space, right?
Absolutely.
But you can't always measure right away.
Yeah.
Maybe it's somebody's sister or somebody's friend or somebody's cousin, right?
Yeah, like I said, my kids' friends were maybe not my ideal clients.
Which is fine.
They know people.
Yep.
And their friends know people,
Yep.
right? And so the more you can get out there and get visible, the more chance you have of your name getting out there, right? And I'm starting this business from scratch. I've been in this community for 5 years, not as a photographer, and then suddenly I'm like, hey guys, I'm doing this photography business, right? Which is a challenge. They're like, oh wait, Jess, what? And I'm like, no, actually I'm really good, I promise.
I've done this before.
Right? So it's coming out there and showing people and showing up to places as a photographer, taking my camera. I love football games anyway. I have 0 kids on the football team. I don't have a cheerleader. I love, and everybody, it's rural town, right? Friday night, you go to the football game. That's where everybody is. And so we have a brand new football coach. I was like, hey, so can I show up and be on the sidelines? Can I come take football photos for you? And he's like, heck yeah, you can.
Just walk on down here.
Right? And I know there are some places where you have to have a press pass. You have to do all those things. Yeah. But being from a rural town where everything is a little bit more loose has some advantages. So I can show up with my long 70 to 200 lens that looks really professional, and I'm on the sidelines, and my husband's up in the stands, and he's like, oh yeah, I got the so your wife's down there, and her equipment looks pretty professional, right? And my husband's like, yeah, she's a professional photographer, right?
She is one. Right.
So it's just showing up and being in those spaces. So this fall, I went to football, I did soccer, cross country, showed up at the volleyball game, just trying to get out there, and then send the teams those images so they can use them on social media. One thing that I'm doing this fall is I love your little, the Polaroid snapshot, right? So if I print out a bunch of those of the kids that have played in their sports this year, give them to the coach, try and find their address, mail them to the parents, something so that these kids have printed pictures of them playing sports, because the digital's all great and they'll put them on their phone or they'll show them on social media and then they're gone, right? I still have a 5x7 black and white of me playing volleyball in high school. And I treasure that because of a parent. Because of a parent. A parent showed up to the game and took pictures of my volleyball team. And it's me, I was middle blocker, so I'm at the net, ready to go. I love that. I treasure that photo still, how many years later. And I'm like, I want that for those kids. I want them to have something.
I like the proactivity piece. You get after it. Right? You don't sit back. You get out there and make things happen. So I like that piece. I like the advantage. You're taking advantage of some of the things that come with being in a smaller market or a smaller town. I like that piece, right? The whole press pass example is just one example, but the fact that it's when you're in these smaller areas, you'll have access to a lot more things. There's not the red tape. There's not the hoops that you have to jump through, things of that nature. And I love the giving back the giving back piece. That's a really great combination. Now, I'd like to move on to, there's another segment that you focus on, right? And I have the legacy portrait project called Seen Again. Yes?
Yep.
Tell me everything.
Okay, so Seen Again is a project where I want to focus on senior citizens in our community. You know, rural community, we have a lot of history. There's a lot of people that have been there forever, and they have the most amazing stories, which is one of the reasons I love high school seniors, right? Because they have this story and this personality, and you can kind of tease out their different activities and what they love to do. And I was like, you know who has better stories than high school seniors? People that have lived for 70 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, these people are legit.
There's a lot more stories, and they tend to be a lot better.
Right? Yeah. And it's just really fascinating. And it actually started with my dad, who has Parkinson's disease, and he does a lot to manage that. So he goes to rock steady boxing, he does Tai Chi, and in this, I do an interview with all of my clients. So in this interview, we kind of tease out what means the most to them, and all growing up, he did scouting. And that was huge for him. That was a huge part of my growing up, was him off adventuring with the scouts. Yeah. And he made a lot of difference in a lot of people's lives, right? And he loves astronomy. And that I learned in the interview, I didn't even know this. Like, he got that love from his mother, who I've never met because she died before I was born. And I'm like, I didn't know that came from Grandma. How cool is that?
You asked.
But I asked, right? So we did this interview, and then we went out and we did it was a little bit like a high school senior session, and we did this whole portrait session. And one of my favorite images now of my dad is of him with the punching bag at this gym. And I'm like, I love this. And it was so sweet. Like, I was like, you're totally my guinea pig, Dad. We're totally gonna figure this out together. And he's like, I'm here for it. But kind of near the end of the process, he was like, okay, this project is really powerful. And he's like, it's not because other people get to see me again. It's because I get to see myself again.
Wow.
Right? And he's like, I have this legacy that I can pass on to my kids and my grandkids. And I think it was, of course, my mom, I made him go through the whole thing. I'm like, we're sitting down, we're watching your slideshow, we're doing an ordering appointment, like, I'm taking you through my whole thing. And, we're watching the slideshow, my mom is just like bawling over there. Right? I'm like, I made my mom cry, okay, right? But it just meant a lot to her too, because now we have these beautiful portraits of my dad. And then she's like, okay, so when are we doing mine? And I'm like, okay, I got you.
She was ready?
Yeah, she's like ready. So that's really fun. I love that aspect of storytelling and really just trying to tease out what makes a person or what has made up a person's life and their history.
Well, and once again, you're being proactive. You're making it happen. You're learning things about your own father that you would not have known had you not asked and done that, right? And you're experiencing something that you didn't even maybe realize was there on the front end.
Yeah.
And then well, if this is happening for us,
right?
There's so many other people that it's just right there, but you have to take action to make it happen.
Yeah.
Right?
You do.
And so that's what you're doing for others. And what does it look like from a practical standpoint? You go through that process with your own parents, right? And then your mom's like, I want it too. And then that has to start being like, this is a thing.
It's totally
it really is a thing.
Yeah.
So then what do you do?
So I network.
Okay.
And I try and find the people. So it's gonna sound cliche, but pickleball. I kid you not. Our pickleball community, you know what pickleball is,
I
right?
do.
Okay, good.
I do.
Our pickleball community in Teton Valley is massive, right? They have open community play outdoor in the courts 5 times a week. Everybody shows up. I've been going for, 3 or 4 years now to pickleball.
Well, my parents play pickleball.
Okay, so I've met a lot of people, and this summer I was in there, and one of the things that my mentor encourages us to do is just to get out and start talking.
Yes.
You just got to talk to people. So we're sitting at pickleball, we're waiting for a court. I was talking to this, she's an amazing player. They have a house in New Mexico. They're up here in the summers. And I start talking about the Seen Again project, and she's like, this would be perfect for my husband. And I was like, okay, tell me about your husband.
Yeah.
Right? And so she starts telling me about his life and how he was over in Jackson Hole and he preserved historic buildings, and then he came over on the Drake side and was like preserving buildings over here and was a ski bum and just all of these things. And I'm like, okay, we have to tell a story, right? Like we have to do this. And so that was really special. I have a client from Rotary Club, which is the other cliche, right? But like
cliches are cliches
where
for a
are you
reason.
gonna find these people, right?
Right.
So, and she in her interview, you know, one of my questions is, do you have anything like an heirloom? Like, do you have something that means something to you that we want to include in your session? And she was like, I have this stack of quilts that my mother and my grandmother made. And I was like, okay, there's your session right there, right?
Yeah.
So we ended up with this beautiful, Matt actually helped me float frame this beautiful like 30 by 15 acrylic of them with the Tetons behind them. Their quilts were all on ladders because it means something to both her and her husband. So now they have this beautiful portrait with these quilts that were made by her mother and her grandmother.
Well, that just made me think of something too. This probably isn't in the notes either, but when you bring up specific products even, right? Like if we just dive into the product piece for a second, and we've already talked about seniors kind of on both ends of the spectrum, right? Because there have been times when we say we photograph seniors and people make the assumption that it's older people sometimes. And they're like, oh no, high school seniors.
Right.
And so there's probably a different product mix, depending on who your customer or your client is, right? How do you, when you step back, because there's a million different things, right? And these days, everybody has so many different things to choose from. How do you decide, like, what will work or what could work depending on who you're working with?
A lot of it is, so I do a consultation with my clients beforehand, and
kind
preferably it's in their home, so I can see what their decor looks like.
So you go there.
How they decorate, and then I bring them product samples. And usually they're my favorites, right? Because really to sell something, you have to love it.
Yep.
And so acrylics are a current flavor. I love float framing. I love your albums.
But I like that you go there. That's interesting to me. You go there.
Yep.
And so that does a couple different things. A, you're making that effort again, the proactivity piece. I like it. But you're in their space. You can literally see.
Yeah.
Right, and give them ideas in real time in their space.
And I take pictures of their walls.
Right.
Tape up a little 8.5 by 11 piece of paper,
so
and now you guys have their really cool new gallery feature, right? I can upload their picture right into there and put real size. That way, there's not a guesswork of. Okay, actually, 20 by 30 looks really small in this space. We gotta go big. I'm sorry, we have to go bigger. We just do. It's gonna look cool, right? So things like that, where I can get that information from them and decide what they like, what speaks to them. And you keep saying the cliche piece, and I get it, but run through some different options. I get the pickleball piece, because that go where your clients are, essentially, right? Yep. Go where your potential clients are. Pickleball, Rotary. What else do you do, regardless of if it's seniors or seniors, right? What else do you do to go to your clients? Community events are really big. We have even the football game. Football games. You're seen at the football game. Yep, I'm at the football game. Church events. We have a Seniors West of the Tetons. Elderly seniors, west of the Teton, and they're super active. They have an entire calendar. They do lunch like every day. They have a photography club that I'm hoping to, now that busy season is slowing down, I'm like, dude, let me come to your photography club and talk about portraits. And the guy that's running it is like, oh my gosh, yes, please, I'm a landscape photographer. Right? Like, come talk to them. They would love to hear from somebody else. Just getting out there and I'm just really trying to find people, and once you find people, they tend to know somebody, right? And they'll know somebody else, and it just ends up being this networking. It just grows. Yeah. It's like a snowball. So we are actually small enough. We don't have a chamber of commerce, which really surprises people, because people are like, go to your chamber meetings, and I'm like, legit, we don't have one. Don't have one. We don't have a BNI group. Like, we don't have any of that. And so Rotary was it's like our one networking thing. I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to Rotary. We have lunch every week. I've had some great clients from there, made some great friends, been to their service projects, just being out there. And I'm becoming known as the person who gives back, who gets out there, who contributes, who does things. And I also like the theme with these two in particular. The one for the older seniors is seen again. Yeah. But I almost feel like the way that you handle
high school seniors is seen.
Yeah,
Like, because they
I love
all,
that. Yeah.
and I'm just throwing,
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna rebrand.
you can,
Whole new marketing
you can
campaign
use it, you
right
can
there.
use it.
Okay, not trade.
But I'm putting that together right now as I hear you talk, because regardless of if we're talking about seniors or seniors, that's really a big desire that people have, is to be seen and to be heard and to be known, right? And especially with the older people, they have all of this to contribute and to share. And a lot of times people, they don't get the opportunity to do that.
Right.
And so regardless of age, you're giving that opportunity for both to be seen and to be heard and to be known. And I think that has to have a huge impact, especially over time.
Yeah.
Right?
Wasn't that why we take portraits?
Well, you would think so.
Right? Like, so that
If it's not why you take portraits, give it a shot.
I know. So that we can be seen, our clients can be seen and known and remembered and cherished.
Right, and I would encourage you and anybody else that considers these cliches. I understand that, I get that piece, but you kind of got to throw that out a little bit, right? And not worry about that too much, right? Yeah, it's a cliche to be seen, to be heard. Give it a shot.
Yeah.
And then, if somebody does that for you, right? It kind of works both ways too.
Yeah, it does.
When it happens, you'll know it, and you'll be like, cliche or not, this is pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Right?
Yep.
So let's dive back in a little bit into maybe some numbers or some the way that your business is structured, right?
Okay.
How much time do you spend with seniors? How much time do you spend with the Seen Again type of client, and then who else do you focus on?
Okay, so seniors, I think I have 4, hopefully 5 this year. My goal was 5 seniors, which
but that's
sounds like
a
not
third of
very
your
much.
business, or a quarter of your business?
Yeah, I would say probably a third of my
that
business.
You're spending time on.
Yep, and with a lot of my seniors, I will offer a complimentary family session.
Okay, that's
because you need that, right?
Very interesting.
Mom needs that after the kid graduates, so we'll do senior portraits in the fall. And then if they book one of my higher sessions, that's a longer period of time, I'm like, complimentary family session. You're obviously an ideal client, you want artwork. Let's photograph your family and get that on the walls before your senior takes off.
So you're not this huge high volume, there's different types of businesses too. You're not a huge high volume, you're more boutique,
Definitely.
right? Is that the word?
Yep.
So, because I want to talk about that too, because different people relate to different things. And if it's like, no, what we always used to say, my goal is to do 1 session a year, $1 million average. That'd be sweet, right? Like, because, I know you can go the other route, and a lot of people do very successfully, right? Where they're just like, hey, we're in this huge market maybe, right? And that lends itself to bringing a lot more people in. But you don't have the ability to spend 3, 4, 5, 7 hours with these people if you're in a volume business.
Correct.
So you have to change your mindset. And the way that you do it is you have less amount of sessions maybe, but a much, much higher average.
Yes.
Right? And that's what you focus on. So you're focused on that from the beginning to the end, like through the whole process, with the way that you're interacting with people, with who you're seeking out, where you're going, and your mindset too.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like especially those, when you go to somebody's house, right, and you're in there where they live, you have that mindset, right? That, I'm not going to be afraid to quote somebody, a huge gallery wall, right? Because there's a big blank wall, right? I'm going to go there. Is that?
And we're going to photograph for that.
You're going to shoot for that.
I'm going to plan and structure my session around the artwork that you want. Yeah, last year I printed a beautiful, I did elopement, which is not super common. It's actually this couple. So this one ended up being a beautiful 60 by 40 acrylic float frame on their wall. So we had a 60 by 40 acrylic, they had a 20 by 30, and then we had 2 30 by 18s. So it was this giant, massive wall of amazing acrylicness.
And how helpful is that for you as an artist even, to be able to have something to shoot for on the front end?
Oh, it makes the session so much easier. Yeah. When you probably don't know this, your wife could relate. You get to a session and you're like, okay, crap, what's next? What am I doing next? What am I doing? What am I even doing this for? And you're just randomly photographing in hopes that they'll love them. But I'm like, no, okay, this is what you want. This is the artwork you want. So here's my list of things that I'm going to in my session.
They're on that page too.
Yeah.
Right?
They know.
Right.
I show up with my notes and I'm like, okay, check, check, check. Check, we got that. Okay, we got everything. We're good. We're done.
And that takes the weight off. That takes the burden off, and you can really just enjoy
Yeah.
the experience with them.
Yeah.
Is that?
Oh, I still stress out. Are you kidding?
No, but just imagine if you didn't have a plan.
I'm like, they're gonna hate me. They're gonna hate the location. Is the lighting gonna suck? Like, oh yeah, I still have, even after 20 years, I'm like, oh, okay,
But that's a good point.
Fine.
There's so many things that you have to be considerate of, right? There's so many things that you have to be aware of, that it's nice to have that plan at least that you can come back to.
Yes.
That you don't have to worry, okay, now also, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Right? You don't want that. You don't want to have to answer that
Or
question.
just show up and be like, okay, they really wanted this piece of artwork, but oh crap, I didn't actually photograph the baby with the dad. Right? And then you get home and you're like, well, now I'm obviously not selling them that because I didn't actually photograph
it doesn't
for
exist.
it. It doesn't exist.
Yeah. Okay, so we're divided into seniors, and I love the tie-in to the family portraits too, because why not?
Why not? I'm serving my clients. Mom definitely needs that before the senior leaves. Like, let's just make it a thing. Yep.
Right. And it doesn't have to be as big of a deal, because a lot of times Dad's involved. Yeah. And Dad is not going to take very long. Look how beautiful. Look how beautiful your son or your daughter looks here.
We plan out the session. I want to make sure it's nice, efficient, short for Dad, short for the teenage boys. Yeah. Like, I got you. We're going to be out of here in 30 minutes stop, and I'm going to be able to sell you $5,000 of artwork. Yeah. Done.
Literally 2 weeks ago, I talked to a dad, and he's like, "That was okay." Yeah. I was like, "Win. That's a win."
It's a win. It's totally a win.
The dad's got a little bit of a smile afterwards. You know that it's a good day.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. So, and then pets. This is where we're going next, right? Let's talk about the pets.
Oh, I love pets.
And let's begin, if you don't mind, with the why. Okay. Why pets? Because not everybody's into that, and it's fine. Yeah. But talk about why you are.
People in Teton Valley love their dogs. It's huge. It's a huge outdoor dog space. And one of the things our mentor encourages us to do is to give back to our community, to raise money for charity. Yeah. Right? So this is actually, Pooch Playhouse is actually her brainchild from this program. I did not come up with it. I can't take credit for that. But it's something that we do together as a group of photographers, is we have a Pooch Playoffs, January, February, March. We all hold our own local competition, and then we send them to nationals, and we compete against each other.
There's a nationals?
There's a nationals. So, which is, I tell people, and they're like, wait, what is this? And I'm like, you guys, it's ridiculously fun. So what we do is we photograph the dogs, and I typically partner with Ollie's Dog Wash in Driggs. She's got a beautiful space. She's great to work with. I don't have my own studio, so I'll bring all my studio set up to her, seamless paper, a couple of lights.
Well, and that's a big reason to partner with other vendors sometimes, especially someone that has a nice space. Right. Because if you're this boutique studio, right, it's nice to have and partner with vendors that also cater to the same type of client, right? So it's nice and to have a space where you can go to. That just makes everything look better for you.
She helps me advertise. She's got the clients that I want to photograph. So it's a great partnership. I bring people into her store that maybe have never heard of her before. So it's a great working relationship. So this last year we photographed 32 dogs in one weekend. Friday, Saturday, and then I did an additional, I had 16. Well, I made myself sound cooler. 16 dogs in one weekend over a Friday, Saturday.
I like the accuracy. That's good. That's good.
Fine. And then I did another 16 kind of just in my garage, setting up when they could come there. So we photographed 32 dogs. I donated $100 per dog to a charity. So I work with our local animal shelter. And
so you donate the cash.
Yeah. So they pay me the session fee. I donate, it's like $125. I donate 100 of that to the animal shelter. So we wrote them a big $3,200 check this last year, which felt great. Yeah, we had a giant check.
Yeah. You got to get those.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, and we made a big deal about it. We did a check presentation at Ollie's. They could come pick up their swag bags. We made it a party. So that was really fun. And then what we do is I put the dogs in an online March Madness bracket. And everybody gets to vote on the cutest dog in Teton Valley. It's ridiculous.
Well, and again, the buzz that creates and can then lead into other types of business for you have to be huge. And do you and I'm asking, do you consider using the same concept that you do with your seniors with your dogs and your pets too, right? Well, dogs have families.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
Right? So they bring their dog, and you said this, that people love their dogs. Another thing we always used to say is people like their kids, but they love their dogs. You can, it's legit. You can get some really nice sales with dogs.
Absolutely.
And not everybody has kids. Some people, their dogs are their kids, right?
Yep.
Which is fantastic. Do you have, what's your mindset with products when it comes to pets or dogs?
So I take all of my Pooch Playoffs clients through my entire boutique process. So even
It's the same.
It's the same.
I like
run
that.
them through the same. So I do an in-person consultation. Ideally, I go to their house. I meet their dog. We talk about artwork, and part of me is like, I realize, you know, it's this big bell curve. I'm like, some people, I'm like, I realize that you just want to donate to the charity.
Yeah.
And that is amazing.
Right.
Like, you can just do the $125. You'll get an acrylic keychain. You'll get a swag bag. Thank you so much. But then there are other people who have senior dogs, or the dog is their baby. And they're like, actually, yeah, I would really like to print artwork and put it on my wall, because these dogs are our family
100%.
and they mean so much to us,
Yep.
and we don't get them
Right.
for as long as we want, right?
Right.
It feels like such a short time.
It is a short time, yeah.
And then they're gone, and I'm like, but then you have this beautiful portrait of your dog who's been part of your family. So it's definitely a bell curve. I would say my average is a lot lower than, you know, typically an average, like a family session.
Sure.
But overall, between 32, I get some that order none, and I get some that are like, yeah, I'll spend $2,000, $2,500 on my
Right.
dog.
Right. And the people that are
So-
just taking the keychain, great.
Great.
The donation's still there. The
Right.
buzz can still be there, right? But would you say that it behooves others that may be watching this, right, to be ready, right? Like, to at least be ready for people, always be ready for people that want to purchase things from you.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because don't go into this thinking, oh, that, like, the only purpose to this is for charity. That's a huge piece of it. And for some people, that's it, right? And that's a big deal. But be prepared, be ready for the people that are like, oh no, I do want a 40 by 60 of my dog in my living room.
Above my couch in my living room? Yeah.
Right.
I'm still waiting for that
Well,
one.
but the point is, be ready for
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Don't
And ask.
have an answer and push that
And ask.
a little bit. Yeah.
And you just have to ask. You're like, well, I'm serving you by offering you this. If it's something that fits with you and fits a need that you have, I'm happy to help with that. And it's not pushy or salesy.
Doesn't have to be, no.
Or anything like that. I'm just serving my clients.
Well, because, and it's always like, when someone, you want to be ready for the question, right? Even if you haven't like established it yet, for somebody to be like, wait, can I get a big portrait of my dog? Yeah. You don't want to be like, wait, what? Yeah. Sure, I guess.
I don't know how to do
oh,
that.
yes, I have all these options. This is, and validate that, like validate those feelings for people that might be a little reluctant to even ask. Like, be ready with that.
I don't actually wait for them to ask.
You
I'm
push
like,
it.
this is what I do.
Yeah.
This is what I do. This is why I do it. This is why I love what I do. Here are some products. So I do offer a couple of things for Pooch Playhouse that I don't normally offer. So
What's
I'll
that?
do acrylic blocks.
Okay.
For my dogs, those are actually quite popular.
Yep.
Your cute little 5x7 acrylic blocks. A lot of people get cards, which is really fun, like a picture of their dog with like this peanut butter tongue lick coming out of their mouth, and you put like woof on it. I'm like, woof means so many things, right? You can use them as birthday cards or like thank you cards or whatever. So those two are probably really popular. And then, canvas wraps,
Of course.
I think,
Yeah.
are really pretty. So
You mentioned at one point during this part of the discussion, the swag bag.
yes.
Now so you're bringing in other, not just Ollie's, right? Where it was held, but you're reaching out to other people.
Yes.
And bringing them in too, and then everyone can contribute a little bit, and again, sort of market themselves. So you're setting up this huge win-win-win-win-win situation for everybody, and then the client gets all this sweet swag, right?
Yeah.
And so, are you maintaining those relationships and building upon that?
Their businesses,
Very purposeful
they
as
need
well.
branding,
Right.
right?
Right. So
At some point,
you're doing that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And that's like, I think I saw somewhere that is a portion of your business as well, where it's like headshots and bringing people in for branding photos for their website or their social media accounts or whatever. Is that correct?
Yep.
I love it. I love it. And then you have those relationships to bring them in for an event like this.
Yeah. It's super fun.
We're on the back of the sheet. We're on the back of the sheet. Let's talk a little bit about, if you don't mind, because people like numbers. People like to know like what can I expect to even get for my efforts, right?
Okay.
So I know that it's centered around giving back and the charity piece, But what sort of numbers can you even expect from a sales standpoint from something like this?
From Pooch Playoff
Yes.
specifically?
Yes.
So I would say my average is about $700 per client. So when you have 3,200 clients, or 3,200, that would be nice.
That'd be awesome.
32 clients times $700 average, like that's pretty decent.
That's good.
For an amount of work for the off season.
Solid.
In the winter when nobody wants to be outside anyway.
Well, let's talk about that real quick too. I'm glad you brought that up because you have the ability, obviously, to decide when these events occur.
Yes.
And you don't want to place this on your Q4 plate.
No.
Right? So
No.
it's and I get, again, I keep going back to, I don't want to de-emphasize the fact that this is for charity, and you might have different people to work with that have different busy seasons and whatnot. But for you want to place these things and plan these things during times where there's normally a dip anyway.
Absolutely.
Right, and to have
It's good revenue.
100%.
It's good revenue for February and March.
That's excellent
Absolutely.
revenue for February and March where I come from. Yes, 100%. So let's go back to this too, because we mentioned it earlier, the boutique word.
Okay.
Let's talk about what boutique is, what it means,
Okay.
and how you approach it.
Okay, for me, it just means that I specialize in helping my clients create custom artwork. It's definitely more of a hands-on relational experience.
Yeah, I like
I'm
that.
definitely finding out what their need is and then seeing how I can help them fulfill that need, whatever that looks like. And, it starts with a phone call. If that seems good, we move into the consultation part. I'm at their house. We meet them. I'm never meeting my clients at their session for the first time. That's so awkward.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, which one of you is my client? I don't know. Like, I've never met you before, right?
You're building a rapport beforehand even with
Yes.
them, and you're getting to know them, and vice versa.
Yeah, absolutely. That way, if they show up to their session, they already know, like, and trust me, hopefully.
Right.
And so the session goes a lot smoother
Right.
also.
Right.
So the session piece, which we've got all planned out, and then I have them back in. I actually have a space in my home that I've decked out with all sorts of pretty artwork. And we have a big TV, a comfy couch. I have them come in for an ordering appointment. And we look through all their images together. Mom cries because her family is so pretty.
Yeah.
And then I help them narrow down their images to their very favorites. And then based on the artwork plan that I've created from their consultation, we decide which images they want to go in their artwork.
Now we've talked a lot about the artwork. What are your absolute favorites? Like, do you have some go-tos?
Oh, acrylic.
Acrylics.
100%.
Yep.
I love it. I love that it's got that finished, shiny, glossy glass look, but you don't have to deal with framing because that's a whole other beast of like matching their decor and figuring, and then do I upcharge? And then what do I do with framing? And I'm like, actually, let's just go acrylic. It's really pretty. Looks great.
Yep.
Metal is really popular for seniors. I love that. And there are some people that are just, I'm not going to say boring, but maybe boring, that just want a canvas gallery wrap. I'm like, you can get that anywhere. Let's get you something that's really cool, right?
Well, and that's the thing. Like, how much do you insert yourself into that decision-making process for them and with them, right? Like, how much do you direct?
A lot.
You do.
Absolutely.
And do you find? Here's the other question I have related to that. Do you find that most of the time people even want that? They're looking for that. Even they're looking for you to kind of. Because what we get a lot is, well, what do you think? Well, which ones do you like? So how prepared are you for that? Because you've been to their house.
I've been to their house.
You've seen what you feel the options are, right? So then when you get to the sale, you're helping them through, or is it?
I've got it fairly narrowed down, right? Like I know what the artwork looks like. I know that like this is not gonna look good on a metal, or like this is like super bright, vibrant colors. It's gonna look amazing on an acrylic. And I talk to my clients that way. I'm like, this would look amazing like this, right? I think this would look great in your house. And I have to remind myself all the time that I am the expert. My clients don't know what they want. They don't know.
This is what I'm getting at.
They don't know what's out there. Like most of my clients are like, what's an acrylic? Like I've never seen that before, right? Like as photographers, I think sometimes we get in our own heads. We're like, oh, but there's all these decisions, and we like micromanage and we nitpick, especially when we're judging our own work. And our clients are not like that. They're like, oh, my family looks cute, and look at Johnny's smile, he looks amazing. And you're like, he's got something in his teeth, right? Like it's.
Well, you might look at it and say, oh, there's a little bit of artifacting in that a little bit. And what they're seeing is, that's him. That's my boy.
His smile.
That's what I see.
And you're like, oh, but it's a little bit soft.
Yeah,
maybe
it's
I
softer than I want it to
maybe
be,
I
right?
can sharpen that up. And they're just like,
So
oh,
good.
I love it, right? Like
So
we're our
good.
own worst critics.
100%.
But I think when we're working with our clients and we're like, oh my gosh, it looks amazing. Can you just picture this in his room? And he's gonna wake up to this every morning and he's gonna see it. And it's this beautiful picture of like you and him together. And he's gonna realize how much his mom loves him every morning when like what mother doesn't want that?
Well, it helped me that
Right?
you said that I am the expert.
Yeah.
But I also thought I heard you say something like, I had to realize that I was the expert.
And I have to remind myself.
And remind yourself, that's it.
Absolutely.
What does that process look like for you? Because that confidence word comes back into the conversation, right?
Yeah.
What do you do for that for yourself? To like, I don't know, pump yourself up, or to remind yourself that because a lot of times we forget how much we know.
Right.
Right? Yeah. And you just kind of get into the routine of it, and then you lose that sense of self that I really do know what I'm doing
a whole
here.
lot about what I'm doing.
Certainly a lot more than these people that are coming in and just kind of looking at me like, yeah, that was great. Now what?
Now what?
Right?
Well, and you think about the photographers that just give their clients 60 images in a gallery, and then their clients are like, well, now what do I do with it? Like, and then they just sit on the computer and don't do anything, right? So obviously I know way more than that because I have a professional lab that has amazing products that are constantly innovating and looking cool. And I'm like, you guys, we can do so many cool things now than we could 10 years ago. Like, look how far we've come in the photography print area.
Well, and I'll throw you another cliche that I hear all the time is that, it's people don't know what they don't know. So you have to show it to sell it, and you have to, like, all these things are really true.
Yeah.
They have no idea. They'll take those 60 files and really not do anything. When in reality, down the road, if they would just take one
right?
and have it printed and put it on their wall as a gallery wrap or a standout or an acrylic or a framed print, even that.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Like that will have so much more meaning. So the cliche for me is it is a disservice to your client if you're not at least giving them the opportunity to do these things.
I believe so. And that's why I've structured my business the way that I have, because that's my why. That's why I do what I do.
All right, this is a big question that Matt wanted me to ask you.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask it.
Okay.
If we're having this conversation 5 years from now, right? Okay. Same time, we'll just come back here, right, in 2030, and we'll have this conversation.
Is that 5 years from now?
I think so.
Well, we're not talking about
Well,
that.
I hope my math is right on that. Anyway.
That sounds a long time away.
5 years from now, it is a little freaky.
Yeah.
Where are you going to be? What's this conversation going to look like in 5 years? What are you going to be telling me in 5 years?
I hope that I'm still doing what I'm doing, but that I'm just serving more people. I love the idea of, at some point, I would love to have my own studio. It'd be great in the next 5 years.
Like apart from your home?
Yeah, just a place where I don't have to set up in the garage or somebody else's house. You know what I mean? I think every photographer dreams of like having their own space.
I believe so.
But just really being able to still give back and serve. And I think that's what I love about my business model also, is because my average is higher, I have less clients, I'm less busy, and so I can take those opportunities to get out and go photograph the football game or do things like that where I'm still very much involved in the community at that point. And I love that.
Well, you triggered another question for me. I can't help it. We'll start to end with this, and then there's like official things that we have to do here.
Okay.
But where does that desire, where does that heart for service come from for you?
I think religion is a huge point from it. I'm religious.
Okay.
And then also a lot of it comes from being a mom.
Just being a mom.
Right, just being a mom. And I know these things mean so much to me. And my kids' life, and I have 2 kids that are grown and out of the house, and I have 1 left. She's a sophomore, so we're nearing that empty nester.
Oh boy.
But just the things that have meant so much to me as a parent, and I want other people to be able to have that experience. And
Yeah, it's
have
almost like
those
you know
memories.
it. Like I
I've
know
been
these are
there.
things that I know
Yeah.
that you might not know yet to that extent. And I can help you experience these things. Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I get a lot of senior moms that are like, I don't know how to do this. I've never had a senior before, right? And I'm like, dude, I got you. Like, we're going to figure this out together. We're going to make sure you get this done so that you can have that amazing experience with your senior. I tell my senior parents all the time, I'm like, come with a session. Come experience this with your senior, because anything we can do to create those shared experiences with our kids before they leave the house, right? We want those I hope we want those lasting relationships with our kids, even after they leave. And so anything we can do to help foster and create that so that we have stronger families and more love and kindness in the world.
Well, but you also understand that it's so fleeting too, right? And you're in a situation where you have two that have already started to move on, and then you still have one at home. And so you're kind of in that in between where you know how fleeting it can be, and you're also like, I still have opportunities that I can take advantage of while my youngest is here with us, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And you don't want, it's hard to see sometimes where people are like, oh, I wish I would have done that, or I wish I would have thought of that, or whatever. But you're in a position right now to kind of spread that and help other people have that experience while they can.
While they can, yep.
I love it, I love it. Okay, where can we find you online?
I'm mostly on Instagram, so just Jess Curren Photography, and then jesscurrenphotography.com. It's all the same.
That's awesome.
Yep.
All right.
Easy.
I think that's about all we have.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank you. It was really nice talking to you.
Too.
Signing off.